my channel, Limitless Me WL. Today I have an updated foundation routine for you guys. In my last one, I did make some mistakes because I wasn't as knowledgeable, so now I'm going to show you guys products that work amazingly for skin when you have discoloration, when you have pigmentation, acne scars, and all that stuff. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. In addition to that, I don't know about you guys, but I have really oily skin, and I used to have a big struggle with making sure my makeup lasts all day, but I found some products which work amazingly, so I'm going to show you that as well in this. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please make sure to click that thumbs up button and maybe even subscribe. Saying that, let's get into it. Okay, so to start off, what I want to show you guys is a moisturizer which I use. I'm not going to be showing you guys my whole skincare routine because I do have a video coming on that, but this is a moisturizer, and I think everyone should be using a moisturizer whether you have oily skin or not. I know that from working at Sephora, sometimes clients will tell me they don't moisturize their face because they have oily skin, and that is a big no-no. You have to hydrate your skin. You actually produce more oil because your skin is dehydrated. So this is a great moisturizer for oily skin. I hope you guys can see it. This is the Philosophy Clear Days Ahead moisturizer. It is oil free. It has salicylic acid, so it definitely focuses more on pigmentation and all that stuff. And to be honest, this one can be a little bit dry because it has salicylic acid in it, but I use it with a toner which really hydrates my skin, but we'll get more into that in my skincare routine. But make sure you guys always hydrate your skin. So I already applied this, so what I'm going to do right now is just go ahead and do my brows and my eyes, and I'll be right back and we'll get started with the face. Okay guys, so I just went ahead and did my eyes. I am going out, that's why I had to go ahead and do that, but let's get on to the face. So we're gonna start off with obviously a primer. I don't use a primer because I just find that they don't work for me. All primers seem to break me out, but some really good options for people with oily skin is the Cover FX primer. I don't have any of the primers in my hand right now just because, like, when I film with a Warzone, I can't go to the other side. So I'll put pictures right here. But the Cover FX primer, the matte one, is amazing. It also has salicylic acid in it, which actually helps treat your acne scars and like pigmentation as well. Another great one is the Becca one, Ever Matte, I believe. That one's a great option as well. Only thing is, it can make your skin feel a little bit dry because it's super mattifying. So you kind of have to, like, as soon as you apply it, you have to do your makeup or it'll give like a white cast on your skin. And the third one, which isn't technically like advertised as a primer, is the Benefit Porefessional. It's kind of like a serum one. You'll see the picture over here. Matte Rescue, that's what it's called, the Matte Rescue by Benefit. That one's actually a really good one too. When I did use that, I found that it worked really well for me. I just couldn't use it because, again, it broke me out. But all three of them are great primers for oily skin. And saying that, let's move on to the actual application of my face. The first thing I do, a lot of you guys know this by now, and my holy grail is a color corrector. Specifically, the Smashbox Orange Color Corrector works wonders. I absolutely love it. It does also come with a sharpener, which is amazing. And if you guys want something that's a little bit more affordable, I also know that the LA Girl Orange Color Correctors are amazing. They actually have them here at Urban Planet and stuff like that, but I believe they're much cheaper if you go to like hair supply stores and stuff like that. So here we go. The Orange Color Corrector is going to really help cancel out any pigmentation we have in our skin. I don't really focus it on the cheeks because my full coverage foundation just covers it up for me. And another thing is, I find that a lot of women of color, they sometimes feel the need to kind of get a dark 2 shades of foundation to match their skin, or they go with one that matches here that looks gray here, or to match here and it looks darker here. The color corrector is going to help you with that. It's going to neutralize all the dark pigmentations such as our chin, around our smile lines, and our forehead. It's going to really neutralize everything and make it match this. And to be honest, sometimes it will look a little bit orange after you blend it out as well, but as long as you're using the right color foundation, it'll definitely cancel everything out. But this color is absolutely perfect for me. I would recommend this for anyone that's anywhere between like medium fair medium, not fair, but like fair medium to a much darker complexion. This color will work wonders. And I also find that the formulation's amazing. It lasts really well, blends out really nice, and it doesn't really crease or anything like that. So let's go ahead and just apply it. So I like to draw it right on my smile lines and literally just go for it. I know sometimes the amount you're seeing right now could look a little bit intimidating, but to be honest, once you blend it out, it's gonna look perfectly fine. And as you guys know, I like to do it under the eyes as well. And right in here, for some reason, I always have really bad pigmentation in between my brows. And I also have this one acne scar right there that just doesn't get covered up, so. And to be honest, if you only use a little bit of it, it will still not work for you. So you have to really just go for it. I know it can be intimidating because you're putting like a color on your face, but trust me, with trial and error, you guys will start to realize the right amount for yourself. So then I like to use my finger. Of course, you can use whatever you'd like to blend it out, but my finger just works best for me. Of course, my nail broke over here. I didn't even realize until like a long time after. So we're just gonna go ahead, blend it out. We're going to use dabbing motions to blend it out, just as we would with any product where we want the product to kind of build up, because by scrubbing your product, like just rubbing it, you're actually just moving it off the skin rather than leaving the color there. As you guys can see, that already makes such a big difference in my skin. It almost looks like my skin is already pretty evened out. So for you guys, it looks like there's not much orange, but if you look really close, there is a little bit of an orange tint. So I just wanted to give you a heads up of that. And now that we did that, we can finally move on to the foundation. I'm going to show you guys my absolute favorite foundation right now. And that, I said now really weird, but right now, and that is the Becca Full Cover Foundation. Unfortunately, the color range doesn't work for me. It's either really too dark or too light. So I went ahead and got the darker shade, and I mix it with my Cover FX foundation drops. Custom cover drops, and you guys do not have to do this in order to get the coverage I'm getting. If you guys can get your hand on this foundation and matches your skin, you guys, I promise you, like, it is a little bit of a pricey foundation, but you can even go to Sephora and get a sample, and you guys are gonna fall in love. And a little bit goes such a long way. It's gonna last forever. I had, like, you know, one of those like little samples from Sephora. I swear I used that one sample for over a month, and I used it almost all the time. Like, a little bit goes a long way. It gives you beautiful coverage, and it keeps your skin super duper duper matte. I absolutely love it, and I find that it doesn't really crease, because I have issues with stuff creasing in my smile lines and stuff like that. I never have a problem with this. It's honestly probably the best foundation I've ever tried in my life. I love it so much. And of course, the custom cover drops is just a foundation enhancer, so you can make your foundation lighter or darker. You can even mix this in with BB creams and stuff like that. It just needs some kind of substance to actually mix in with. You can't use it by itself. So the only reason I use this is not for added coverage, but just to make sure the color works well. But I promise you, even if I don't use this, the coverage for this is like beautiful. It's amazing. Swear by this one. Holy grail. It's really, really good. So the way you're supposed to use the custom cover drops along with this Becca foundation, well, along with any foundation, is you're supposed to put on your palm and then mix it in. I personally don't do that because it's not like a significant difference I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to lighten up this area because I don't mind how it looks around, just because we're going to contour, highlight, and stuff like that. So we're just going to go ahead, and as you guys know, I like to just dab it on the face. So I'm going to use one pump. It's probably not even a full pump. It's a very little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and apply this onto the skin. I like to use very little bit of product on my nose and my forehead, just because those are a little bit more textured areas for me. So I find that I just use whatever's kind of left over on the beauty blender or my brush in order to get to those areas. And now we're just going to go ahead and put the custom cover drops, and to be honest, I don't even like squeeze it. I just kind of like use whatever is on the tube. And then I like to focus this just on my cheek area again, because this is a much lighter color. I don't want it to end up looking ashy and defeat the purpose of us color correcting, so I just use it in that area. And then we're going to go ahead and use a beauty blender. You can use a beauty blender or a brush, of course, and we're just going to go ahead and just blend everything out. I like to take a little bit from the side and then put it on the mouth area too, just so it doesn't look like significantly different. And you guys can just see the coverage. And to be honest, sometimes with this, you don't even need a concealer. It depends on your preference. So I just like to take this up because it does enough coverage for me. As you guys can see, the coverage is absolutely amazing. I'm obsessed. I feel like sometimes my forehead ends up looking a little bit darker than the rest of my face because I don't take the lighter shade up there. But when I do highlight with my cream highlight, maybe I'll show you guys that. But I like to put it right here, which like evens everything out. Just a heads up. So I decided I'm actually not going to show you guys the cream highlight just because it defeats the purpose of this video. If you guys do want to see how to contour and highlight, whether it's cream or powder or just my routine, I'd be happy to make that for you guys, so just let me know. I'll just tell you what I usually use though, and that is the Anastasia cream concealer. It works wonders for me. It doesn't crease like other concealers do, and I absolutely love it, and I love the color ranges as well. Honestly, anyone could find a color in this, so it's perfect. So since we're not going to do that, I'll just go ahead and conceal under my eyes to show you guys what I like using. So to be honest, the one I love to use is the Nyx Concealer in the shade 8. I believe it's the shade 8. Unfortunately, I don't have that one right now just because it's finished, because I always use it. I love it. It's very comparable to the Urban Decay concealer. It works really, really well. To be honest, I prefer much over the NARS concealer. I know I used to love the NARS concealer, but I feel like that was when I didn't really try other concealers. So this one is amazing. But today, since we don't have that, we're going to be using the Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. I do use this under my eyes as well. I would not recommend it for under your eyes just because it's meant more for scars and pigmentation, because it's super full coverage and it can be a little bit drying as well. So if you're someone who's really concerned about that, I would definitely not use it under your eyes. Personally, I don't really care too much for it, so I use it. And then for my concealer, I almost never use a color that's my skin tone, whether it's to like not highlight and just to conceal. I just don't like using concealers my skin tone. So this one is a little bit lighter for me, and this one is in the shade 40. Just very, very little bit goes such a long way with this concealer. And we're just going to go ahead and just blend it in. Just like that. As you can see, it doesn't make too much of a difference compared to the other eye, just because we did use the foundation there already. But if you're gonna use the foundation up there with another foundation, then you could definitely use a concealer, as we all know. But the color correcting just makes it super duper easy, and I'm able to use a little bit of a lighter shade on top of my under eye area because I color corrected. Whereas if I didn't color correct and I used that, it would have looked very, very gray. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other eye as well. A lot of people ask me, like, are you supposed to use your concealer before your foundation or after? To be honest, I don't think it really matters. If you're trying to conceal, ideally I would usually put my concealer before my foundation. If you're trying to highlight, obviously over. But to be honest, I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. As long as you're blending everything out, you're gonna be fine. And as you guys know, I usually always bake my face, but for today, the purpose of the video, I'm just gonna show you guys how I set my under eyes. And that is still with the Ben Nye Luxury Banana Powder. I love this stuff. It works really well. And I love using this brush from Sephora collection, which I obviously can clean a little bit. It's the number 79 brush. It just like sits under the eyes perfectly. So I absolutely love it. So we're just going to go ahead and just set it in. I'm going to use very little bit and just look up and set that in. You always want to look up when you're setting in your concealer because, for example, I always show everyone this. But if your skin is like this, there's a lot of fine lines in it, and you're just going to put it right in the fine lines, which defeats the purpose of setting it. Whereas if you go like this, you suddenly have a flat surface, so that when you set it, it's actually minimizing the appearance of lines. Also, of course, helping you to preserve your concealer from creasing, if that makes sense. So saying that, let's move on to the next step. For me, usually the next step would be my Makeup Forever Pro Finish. Sometimes I skip this with this foundation just because it already gives me that beautiful smooth look in my opinion. But usually I love using this foundation on top of my makeup because it gives me kind of that airbrushed look. As you can see, this color is much lighter than my skin tone, but this specific powder oxidizes very much, so I like to use one a little bit lighter. It oxidizes almost right away, so you never notice a difference, but I really, really love this. So since we're not going to be using this today, I'm going to show you guys what I use all the time, and this is what makes the biggest difference in my makeup lasting super duper long and not creasing and all that good stuff. So if you guessed it, comment down below that you guessed it, because it is my Cover FX setting powder. So this is the matte setting powder from Cover FX in the shade Deep. They have light, medium, and deep. Deep is still a little bit light for me, but since it is a setting powder, it is almost translucent. So I absolutely love this powder. It makes such a big difference in my foundation routine. It helps me with my fine lines. It helps my makeup just last. It does not get oily when I wear this. When I don't wear this, I can tell a significant difference, and you guys have to try this out. It's definitely one of my holy grails as well. Makes such a big difference in my makeup routine. So we're just gonna go ahead and apply this. So a really good thing about this powder is that it has this little thing where the powder actually stays, so it doesn't really get messy or anything like that. So it's amazing. And we're just gonna take a big but dense powder brush, and this one is just from Morphe. It doesn't have the number on it, so I have no idea what number it is, but we're just gonna go ahead and apply it. You always want to like press this powder in, because that's what's really going to prevent your skin from getting oily. I personally find that this is the best method for myself, whereas if I just kind of dust it over the skin, it doesn't really do much for me, especially on my trouble areas such as my smile lines and my nose and the middle of my forehead and right here on the cheeks. It helps me so much, and the rest I just like dust it all over. That's basically my foundation routine. I do use a setting spray sometimes. I don't really think it makes too much of a difference for me, but you guys know that I love the Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray. I just don't personally use it all the time because I feel like this makes such a big difference for me that I don't really need to use that. So saying that, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup because I am going out, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. I finished all my makeup, and as you can see, my skin still looks really matte. There's no creasing going on or anything like that, and the coverage from my foundation was amazing. And the reason I wanted to do my makeup and then come show you guys is because I take quite a while to do that, and even then it still looks exactly like it did before. So I know I did talk a lot in this video, but that's because I wanted to be as informative as possible and genuinely help you guys out. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And if you like this video, please make sure to click that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!